This video is brought to you by my lovely patrons over on Patreon. I would like to give a huge shout out to Anina, Clay, Mariah, Maddie, Edalis, Dre, Thomas, Tara, Zoe, Zuzia, Ainsley, Sabine, Jimma, Bailey, Azzy, Jacqueline, Monica, Jordan, Green, Lizzie, Willow, Danny, Blessing, Avery, Maddie, Alexia, B, Max, T, Taylor, M, Lovely, Antonina, Anna, Valen, Ali, Obsessed, Rihanna, Nicole, Carnations, Kristen, Tequila, Autumn, Emily, Sarah, Vanessa, Nini, Nura, Matcha, Ava, Yasmin, Leah, Kayla, Ali, Jenny, Vika, Inez, June, Elizabeth, Penguin, Sammy, Roland, Rose, Lydia, Mila, Adrian, Lexi, Bana, Chi, Madison, Beck, Jemiah, Mads, Rachel, Daisy, Honeybee, Jade, Hooves, Rose, Alyssa, Cadence, Sponge, AJ, Kate, Jay, Praxid, Nicole, Terry, Hallow, Rebecca, Allison, Jacqueline, Jacaria, Mina, Lilith, Ange, Jasmine, Lizard, Haley, Kiki, Illyria, Lady Demista, Zebra, Lala, Ari, and Amy. If you would like to support the channel and get some pretty cool perks such as exclusive weekly audios and novel readings, the link is in the description. Hey there, Tiger. Good morning. Or afternoon, I guess. Technically not morning, but you know. You need your beauty sleep, especially after last night. By the way, just really quickly, you do remember that you asked me to stay over here and I told you I was going to sleep on the couch, right? Yeah, no, I know. It's become a habit that we, whenever one of us is a little bit too inebriated, we stay over at the other's house. But I wanted to make sure that you remembered that you did consent to that happening. Well, when you are under the influence, I want to make sure that you are as comfortable as you possibly can be, and asking for a consent check is pretty, I just want to make sure you're okay. Good question, and also good segue. That smell is caramel macchiato, which is ready for you right there. I cannot take credit for that as I Uber Eats'd it. What I can take credit for is the brunch bagel that I am cooking up for you. We're really going at it today. I woke up at like 9-ish, and I definitely knew that you would not be up until at least 11, and here we are at noon. I was right about that. So it is an everything bagel, and I saw that you had some thighs in the fridge, so I am making you a sandwich with fried chicken and also eggs and some bacon and some cheese and some spicy garlic aioli mayo hybrid combo thing that I wanted to try out. Yeah, no, because I don't know, I wanted to stay and make sure that you were okay when you woke up, and I figured what better thing to do than to try out a new recipe for you. Well, I'm glad that you appreciate it now, but you can't truly appreciate it until you have it and tell me if it's good or not. Because if I made you a sandwich and spent like 2 hours doing so, and it's a bad sandwich, then that's shame on me, right? That is a very good question. So how do I put this? Do you remember the night where we were at Alana Marion's party and you and Savannah were gone, like completely, to the point where you got up on their dining room table
and started like dancing and like throwing ass around. Do you remember that? Yeah, yes, exactly. I had, well, no, and you know I deleted the video immediately after, but if I had told you that you were up there on in a dining room table in like a normal house throwing ass, you would not believe me at all whatsoever. So I had to take the video of it because I was going to tell you the next morning and you would say, I didn't do that, which is what you did. And then I showed you the video and you're like, oh my God, I can't believe I did that. Exactly. So you weren't that bad. But do you remember that night where we were at... I cannot remember the woman, but it was Jake Collins, like, party, like engagement party thing. And you got so drunk that all you did was like follow around again, and this a testament to Jake, that woman that he was with, and you kept talking about how she was the one for him, no matter how many relationships and engagements and marriages that he had in the past. She was the one for him, to the point where you basically convinced her to break up with him. Do you remember that? Yeah, it was better than it was worse than that. It was worse than that, but it was better than the other things. So it wasn't throwing ass levels of bad, but it was All right, okay. Well, now we are finally getting into the interesting stuff. Are you sure you want to do this? Because... Oh, okay. Oh, we're playing this game now. Interesting. Okay. So, do you remember what was the last thing that you remember from last night? All right. Okay, that makes sense. So after that, I literally picked you up. No exaggeration. I picked you up, like the groom carrying the bride away from the altar. Yeah. And we came back here, and I laid you down on your bed and pumped you full of some water because you needed to sober up a little bit. And if you didn't sober up even just a tad from that water, I don't think you would have even been able to fall asleep. Yeah. And then you asked me to lay down and sleep in the same bed as you. Yes. And don't make that face. Don't make that face. I know. I bet you can tell where this is going now. But oh. So you do remember. You just wanted me to say it out loud to make sure you weren't dreaming. I get, well, you know what? Honestly, if a part of your dream is laying down in bed with me and spending the night together, then I am flattered and honored. Duh. Not honor. I am honored. But yeah. Do you happen to remember any other details you divulged during the conversation we had? That's funny. No, that was me telling you a bedtime story that you specifically requested of me. So no, I didn't personally talk about going and moving away to Montana with you, but I did, there was a character that did that in my story. I'm surprised that I could not tell when you dozed off, but the fact that you remember that is sweet, I would say. But no, that is not exactly what I was referring to. Do you remember anything prior to that? Or are you completely clueless, or are you just trying to delay the inevitable conversation that is going to come up right now and here, because I'm not going to let it be put off for any longer? No, honestly, I can't blame you. Once again, you know, when you're under the influence, some fictionalized things that you could be imagining in your head could warp together with actual things that happen. So I will say it for you. You told me last night that you were, in your own words, super duper into me. There's no need to like hang your head like that. I can guarantee you that this conversation is going to go better than you think it will. Because I have a really great sense for these things, and also I am the one on the other end of the conversation, so I know you only know 50% because you know your thoughts on the topic and not mine, and I know 100% of the thoughts on the topic because I know both of our perspectives. So naturally, I'm feeling a little bit better than you are about this. I don't know. I think slow your roll for a second. No, because I don't want this to be, spoiler alert, something that we just kind of breeze over and move on to something else. I want this to be a genuine conversation because I do actually have some questions. You can interpret that however you want, but I'm going to ask the questions. And yeah, no, I think in order to get off on the right foot, this is a conversation that needs to be had. Don't be nervous. I promise. Is it okay if I hold your hand? Is that okay? So, I guess my first question would be, how long have you been feeling those feelings about me? Okay, that's kind of what I figured. Because when you were talking to me, and maybe I literally spent all night thinking about that conversation. Maybe it was just me overthinking it, but the way that you said it, there's a certain tonal distinction between someone who has recently discovered feelings for someone and someone who has been pining after someone for a very long time. Or at least like a year plus, I'd say. And when we had that conversation, to be fair, you were wasted, so that could have gotten in the way of the communication barrier, or it could have been a barrier to me understanding the tone you were trying to take with it. But I don't know. I just kind of was able to tell that this was not just a new thing you were experiencing. Well, my follow-up question to that is, why didn't you tell me before? Yeah. I know that in our world, it's more proper, or not proper, that's not the word I'm looking for. It's more customary for the guy to approach the girl, I guess. But I know you, and I've been best friends with you for a long time now, and you have approached so many men, which we will get to later. But so I was wondering why you never approached me. No, I do not think you are stupid at all. It's just something that it doesn't fit in with your pattern of behavior, so I'm wondering why. I don't know. What is the common thread between all of the guys that you've been with? I guess the longest Randy was like a year, right? Okay, no, you are right. On and off for a year, and you never really seemed super interested in him compared to even some of the shorter flings that you had. But I guess, okay, so is that the common thing, that they were more like short-lived, strong-flamed type? That is surprising, because you actually did seem into some of them a pretty significant amount. Really? Okay, well, I am flattered. I'm flattered. And maybe I'm being oblivious right now, but that still doesn't explain it. So you were dating these guys to like avoid the idea of having feelings for me. And trying to distract away from that. I get that now, and that answers to the question I was asking about why. I was going to say, why have you dated so many guys? But that still doesn't explain why you didn't just tell me? Oh, come on. No, I'm sorry. I don't mean to sound callous, but I know you well enough to know that wouldn't be a detractor. Simply from the fact that I know that they're not as good of friends as we are, but you have asked out a lot of our friends and had like flings with them, so I don't necessarily buy that one. So I'm sorry. No. I'm not judging you at all. This is a very difficult conversation to have. Although I may not seem that way, very nervous, and the only reason I don't seem that way is because I had hours to prepare for this. So what is the real reason? Well, that might be the silliest thing that I've ever heard you say. Yes, even more than the time that you went on a date with Jared Finkelman. I can't even. I believe I said that name out loud. Finkelman. You dated someone with the last name Finkelman. That even more ridiculous than that. I would. If anything, what you're saying looks negatively upon me, because I don't have any experience with this stuff. I'm the one who, in this scenario, isn't the like ideal partner. You're completely experienced. And just because you've been with a lot of people, that doesn't... Why why would that be a negative for me? It just means that you're more experienced. I wish that when you had come to realizations of those feelings that you could have come to me and told me, and then maybe you wouldn't have had as many people before me, instead of like we could have just been, together and not. Yeah. I really do. You can't. No, don't. I'm not blaming either of us. So don't put that on me. You were with. You never took a second to not be with somebody. And although I now know the cause of that, and I would have said something if I had known that was the cause of that, I couldn't have possibly known that you were feeling this strongly about me in the same way that I feel about you. I couldn't have known that. But you know what? Honestly, none of that matters anymore. Right now, what matters is that you have told me that you like me, and I have told you that I like you, and both of those feelings are very strong. And I can't avoid asking you any longer if you would like to go steady with me. Don't. Hey, and see, you know what? Maybe that's the difference. Maybe the corniness is part of the charm. Have you ever considered that? No? You haven't? Okay. All right. Seriously though, I would like to be your boyfriend. Very much. And I would be really awesome if you could be my girlfriend. And what is it that I promised you? You're right. I did. Well, since you have that voucher, if you could just hand it over to me, I would gladly give you the kisses that you are so rightfully entitled to. So you mean to tell me if both of us weren't so inept at relationships, we could have been doing this for years? Oh, I didn't even tell you that. From the moment I met you, I knew that there was something special about you that I gravitated towards and felt pretty significantly about, for sure. Yeah, you are magnificent, and I always knew that you were, and I would like to propose that from now on, unless it's like actual like trauma with like relationships that you have to talk through, which I'm totally open to, we don't talk about the past. Because it really, ever since we met, it's always been you and me. We just had to find the path to get there, and now we are on that path, and I couldn't be happier. So, I don't like making promises, but I don't think I would object to spending forever with you either, at all. I think that would be, honestly, best case scenario. Now back to business, of course. The last thing I have to do for this bagel is I need to double batter up the chicken because I know you like it extra crispy. You can get started on your macchiato. I will set the table. You can turn the records off if you want and find something for us to watch while we eat. And if you are interested, maybe we could spend the day trying to get rid of this hangover for you. Sounds like the best plan that I could possibly think of. Mwah. Okay. I'm not going to tell you anything else. No way. I know you now that you are my girlfriend. I can certainly say that I know you well enough to know when the level of embarrassment is a little bit too high for your processing. And right now, you do not need that, especially because I can tell you still got a little bit of